Well, it's getting into late October. Been doing a lot of salmon fishing, but today I was just driving around. It's a beautiful day, and I decided to come out and see if I can catch some fish. Came to one of my favorite little spots. It's called Rice Lake, and I'm a little surprised at the state of it. The water is insanely low. I've never seen it this low. But my plan today is to fish a few different methods. I've got a lure casting rod, a float rod set up, and I'm gonna see what works and sort of talk a little bit probably about how I go about catching these stock trout. So wish me luck. I keep a couple rods in the car for random occasions like this, but I also don't keep a lot of tackle in the car. So what I have here is kind of a weird setup for the float. I actually don't know if I'm going to be able to fish it this way. I'm fishing a little fly under a float, but the float is a trout size float, but I didn't have any trout size weights, so I'm hoping this float will hold. There's only a few other people here. I know they've just put like a ton of fish in here, a couple thousand. I'm just gonna see if this even floats. Not a chance. Look at that, the float is just gone. Okay, back to the drawing board. I'm gonna have to use like a salmon size float. I do have this 20-gram float. You know, this is Norway. It's a float with a weight fixed right to it. I mean, I wonder if this would work. I won't really be able to adjust my depth though. I don't know. The other things I have are these 25-gram clear drift floats, so I found I'm gonna have to just try this. It's actually a number of fish active over here, which is not what I would have expected. Oh, look at that. A few pliers. If you keep your eyes open, you can get all kinds of stuff when you go fishing. Like this is normally like waist deep water right here. And it's normally pretty awkward to fish. We'll see if anyone takes it. I don't know if this is gonna work. What I normally like doing with this, keep my line mended so that there's not very much line laying out on the water. And that way, when you get a bite, you can just lift the rod tip and it quickly sets the hook rather than trying to reel up all the slack. Oh, I think there's a little nibble there. And then while it's sitting there, what I like to do to keep the line mended is every once in a while, just kind of lift, drag it in, reel up the slack, and that kind of just lifts the presentation, lets it sink again. And I find these stock trout often can't resist that sinking motion. So here, I don't know if you can see, but I got a little bow forming in my line. I want no bow if at all possible. So I'm just letting that sit for a second. I'm gonna pick up that slack. Oh, jumper right here. I might have to get that little spoon rod. Okay, I do not have confidence in this, so I'm gonna switch up. Grab my little spoon. Here's my other little lure casting setup. And on here I'm fishing this spoon that was doing major work for me in an earlier trout fishing vid that I posted here. Prime Lures 1/8 ounce wiggler. This thing was crazy. My approach is just gonna be cast it out as far as I can, let it sink a little bit, and then reel it in as slowly as I can, just enough so that I can feel and see the rod taking a little bit of a wobble action from the spoon. Okay, I can't cast that very far. Here we go. So we're somewhat far from ideal setup here. that sink more this time. Oh, that's bottom already. Yeah, it's not very deep. So here I'm just watching the line sink on the top of the water. Eventually it'll stop when it hits bottom. There's bottom. And then I'm just gonna give it a little pop and slowly retrieve it back. Ooh, I had one slash at it right at the bank here. It followed in and slashed at it right at the bank. Okay, okay. Yeah, this rod's all funky too. The reel doesn't stay positioned on the rod properly. We got a very janky setup here. Just a ledge here. We got the same thing, silver and blue. I'm not gonna fish it as deep this time. Oh, that was a good hit. That was a good hit. I missed it. Dang, I can't believe I missed that. It was such a solid take. Ooh, look at that. A tiny little hook. I need that. For some reason, I wore shorts again. As I was driving up here, like it's nice and sunny and warm in the city, but I'm driving up here and I can see there's like fresh snow on the mountains just above here. Back to this guy. Now I'm superstitious that because I didn't hook that first bite, I'm not getting the damn thing. The mental illness of fishermen. And 10 seconds to the bottom. Ooh, there we go. Oh, that was right on the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I feel like so much of this fishing is figuring out the depth that the fish are sitting at. So if you're float fishing, you gotta be just working your float down until you find where they're at. Same thing if you're lure fishing, I guess, just count it down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. Oh, he's in. He's going absolutely ballistic too. Okay, we're on the board. We got a very small football-shaped rainbow trout here. I'm gonna try not to handle the fish because I'm gonna let him go. We're gonna say goodbye to this little fella right now. There you go. Ooh, that's 13 seconds to the bottom. That's deeper there. One of my favorite things about fishing is just the problem solving. You know they're here. Oh my God, look at that right there. Stay on, dude, stay on. Woo. Even smaller than the last guy. Small without the football shape. Another really pretty fish though. Hook is out, and we're gonna send him on his way. Well, it was actually a pretty weird day of fishing. I know they have recently just stocked it with 2,000 fish, but fishing was dead slow, man. And it seems like that was that way for everyone. I was just chatting with a guy who's fly fishing. He had the same experience, trying to figure out what it's all about. The thing I did have success with was that prime lure spoon. That's the one. Everything else was dry. Even power bait. Couldn't get a bite on power bait. That's crazy. Oh well, that's fishing.